Hello and welcome to the weekly weigh-in. It's Sunday, August 17th, 2025, and we are the Downsized. My name is Laraine Durham, and I'm here with my husband of 22 years.
That's me, Christopher Durham.
I state your name. I, Laraine Durham. And this is our channel where we talk about everything related to GLP-1 weight loss. I've lost over 50 pounds on a GLP-1 medication. My husband's lost about twice that, and so we decided to start a YouTube channel about it. And we've been documenting our progress, our journey. We also talk to people in a series called The Downsized Dish. Today in our weekly weigh-in, we talk about how our week went. We take questions from our viewers, and we just, talk about some topics that might come up along the way. So
who knows what's going to come up out of her head? So.
It's always a mystery, even to me. So what do you say, Mr. Durham?
What do I say? I say today is what, August 17th, so it's about 11 days to my birthday.
Oh,
the big 5-7. They don't make 57-year-old cards at the grocery store. You know how you get like the 5-year-old card? I don't think there's no 57-year-old cards.
Sorry.
With Snoopy or something on it. Right?
Maybe we can find you a nice Star Wars card.
Oh, maybe. Who knows?
All right. Okay, so I guess I can start with
Sure, go for it.
my week. So I'm in maintenance. I've been in maintenance since July of 2024. So I've been in maintenance now a full year. I've been maintaining at around a 50-pound loss. Today I weigh 142 pounds even. I started at 193 pounds. So that's 51 pounds down in total. I'm a 56-year-old mom of 3 pretty much grown children, and I'm 5'5". Righto. So if you've been like following along with me, like this week during this past week, I had like a weird drop in my weight, which was really unusual for me. I do weigh myself every day, so does Christopher, and daily weight fluctuations are normal, but I had like a 3-pound drop.
But you had a 4-pound at one point.
I was like at 140, and last week I was 143.4, so it was almost like a 4-pound drop, and maybe 3 and change really, which was unusual. And I was like, what is happening? But, then as the week went on, it leveled back out. So I'm at 142 this week. Last week I was at 143.4. And it caused me to look at, because I have an app on my phone that my scale tracks my weight on the app on my phone, I can look back over the past year and see how I've maintained. I hit 50 pounds down in July of last year, and I've really maintained in about a 3-pound range for about a year, which is kind of blows my mind a little bit that I've kept it in that close of a range. I actually adjusted my goal weight down on my app to be 143, which is an even 50 pounds down, so it draws a line for you and so you can see, if you sort by daily, weekly, or monthly, yearly, you can see how many times you go above that line, I guess. And it wasn't, maybe a couple times. So, I just never thought that I would be able to lose down to this weight, let alone maintain it for over a year. I'm on a 7.5 dose of compounded Tirzepatide, and I've been on that dose now for quite a long time. I was doing 8 milligrams starting in June, so it's now August, so a couple months at that. Before I was on this dose, I had gone down to a 5 milligram dose and didn't like that, so I bumped it back up. Still liking the 7.5 milligram dose. Feeling pretty good about that. I do feel hunger, especially toward the end of the week when the shot starts to wear off a little bit, but that's fine. And I do feel hunger if I get too far past a mealtime. Like today we ate lunch. We went out to lunch at Cava, and it was 1 o'clock when we got there, and then they were super slow, and my stomach was growling in line. Like I was getting ready to be hangry, but luckily for everyone involved, I got my lovely harissa avocado salad. It was delightful. Okay, how was your week, Christopher, in terms of weight loss?
Well, it was a good week. So I am 56 years old, 5'10.5". We both started this adventure together September 2023, in case you're all wondering.
I forgot to mention that.
I started at 286 pounds, or 286.4 pounds, and today I'm 103.6 pounds.
I'm sorry, I'm 100.
Let me get it correct. I'm 182.8 pounds, and I'm 103.6 down.
103.6 down.
Correct. Yeah.
Should we say congratulations? I know we talked about that the other night.
Doesn't.
I'm still going to say
I'm not offended by that at all. Either way, I simply don't. I don't choose to do that for other people because I don't want to guess.
You don't want to guess if they
like it or they don't. It's not any of my business.
Okay. You can always tell me congratulations.
Whole separate conversation.
I will take any and all feedback.
So yeah, I'm 103.6 pounds down. I've been in maintenance now for this is my fancy spreadsheet, so I don't have all that. It's an ongoing until I lose it, and then I could go back and look at my phone. And honestly, I have videos of all the weeks. So if you really want to know, I'm sure somebody could go back and tell me what I weighed when and count things out. And I'm probably telling you a wrong number somewhere along the way. Oh well. We need a continuity guy like on TV and movies. I've basically been in maintenance right at 25 weeks. I've stayed on 15 milligrams of Tirzepatide. Don't have any plans of going down. Don't have any plans of stretching it out. Everyone gasps.
But why, Christopher? Why wouldn't you try to
Because,
lower your dose?
I talked to two really...
I did.
I talked to two really smart doctors.
Mm-hmm. That we interviewed on our channel. Dr. Francavilla and Dr. Chang. Mm-hmm. Both of which said, if it's working for you, why are you changing it? Great point.
So... I have picked a center point, a goal weight, whatever you'd like to call it. I call it center point. She doesn't like that.
I don't. That's fine.
That is 185 pounds. So if I'm up a couple pounds, down a couple pounds, and I have been the entire time. I haven't really strayed up or down very much. Mm-hmm. And it's just working for me. Mm-hmm. Will I go down a little bit at some point? Maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Do I care? No, I don't care what dose I'm taking as long as I can maintain my weight and be healthy about it. It's just, other than a cost consideration, there's no reason for me to even think about changing.
Cost consideration is,
which is a huge consideration, of course. Mm-hmm. So it was not too bad a week. We moved, before I get too far into that, what we haven't said is we're not doctors.
We're not doctors. This is not
I am not a doctor. Laraine is not a doctor. We are just a suburban couple with 3 kids, 1 full-grown adult and 2 college kids.
They're all over 18.
Yeah, but one's got a mortgage and a job, and the other 2 are.
That is very adult.
That's as adults as it gets. One's got a mortgage and a job.
Right.
That we just had fought our weight for her whole life, maybe for the last 30 years, really. Mm-hmm. Found these medications and they worked, and said, "Hey, let's start a YouTube channel, and this is what we talk about." So no, we're not doctors.
Right. So if you want to get started, talk to your doctor.
Please do talk to your doctor. If you haven't already, though, please like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. And when you do that, it basically shares this content with other people that are looking for information about GLP-1s. So
Seems like everybody wants to know about these GLP-1s.
It does seem like it these days.
Because they work, and they're a treatment for the disease of obesity. Obesity is a disease. It's not your fault. Did you know that? I don't think I can say that enough times. When I say it
sometimes
to somebody...
she says it at dinner while we're eating. I'm like, yeah.
Sometimes when I say it to somebody like face to face that I'm trying to explain GLP-1 medications to, I get like, ooh, obesity is a disease. And I kind of gauge their reaction. Whether they're going to be like, it's not a disease. Well, the American Medical Association has classified obesity as a chronic, recurring, progressive disease. then what about it? Yeah. Anyway.
Well, and so, which leads us into questions. And there was one particular viewer who left a very long comment, and it wasn't actually a question, but basically she said, obesity is not a disease. I ate myself to this, which is an interesting conversation. And we've had a number of comments over the last year and a half similar to that. And when you talk to the doctors will tell you there's actually 10 or 12 different reasons and cases that can be mixed and matched on how you get to the disease.
How the disease is triggered in your body.
Right, how it's triggered in your body. And yes, it is possible for us to hurt ourselves. So just because you did it to yourself does not mean it's not a disease, which is an interesting conversation. Now,
well,
not everyone has the same kind of obesity, nor was it triggered by the same things, which kind of blows people's minds. So everything, from food insecurity to processed foods to our obesogenic environment to your genetics to there's all these
abuse,
things out there that can
trauma,
right,
an accident,
a dramatic life change that can change things. So there's no one specific thing that you can point to that says this person and all these people got it this way. It's really very specific to the individual. Doesn't mean it's not a disease, though.
Remember what we went to the Obesity Action Coalition conference in Washington, D.C. in June, and one of the doctors giving a presentation is just really stuck in my mind. I think it's stuck in the minds of everyone there, made the comment that overeating doesn't cause obesity. Obesity causes overeating. So if we really accept the premise and the fact that obesity is a disease and it's not our fault, obesity drives us to overeat. And so for the person that says, I did it to myself, stop blaming yourself, okay? Obesity drove you to overeat. We that have the disease of obesity are kind of powerless over it. We talk about willpower, we talk about not eating certain foods, how they're bad for you and this and that, but in the end, our brain is driving us, to consume food all the time. And it's very hard to overcome those biological drives to find food and to get food. So just throwing that out there.
So what these medications do, in a very layman's term, not a doctor, not a scientist, the GLP-1 and the GIP and semaglutide and Tirzepatide, is in those of us with obesity who have the disease, our stomachs and our brains are not getting the proper connection. They're not getting that message that says, you're full.
Stop
you
eating.
Can stop.
Right.
What
Never
your brain is saying is, feed me. The nuclear winter is coming. You must store up.
You're going to
there is an
die.
emergency. Feed me, feed me, feed me.
It is a biological imperative.
So what that GLP-1 does is it goes into your body and it mimics a natural hormone that your body creates, but that natural hormone GLP-1 only lasts 3 or 4 minutes. It's gone very quickly, and it comes in and mimics that and makes it last 5 to 7 days, such that it's basically flipping the switch and saying, oh, you're full. It's okay.
You're fine.
Dramatic oversimplification of a lot of things that are going on in your body, but it's not your fault. Now, can we do things that help ourselves? Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely. Can we hurt ourselves? Absolutely we can. We want to choose not to do that, but in the end, it's not your fault.
I feel like the GLP-1 medication kind of gives you guardrails, right? I mean, I can still run over the guardrail and eat, a couple donuts if I want to, but I don't feel compelled to drive off the road. I'm on the road. I'm making good choices 85% of the time, right? So, I always knew what foods were better for my body. I just couldn't control where my car was going to drive to and pull in and order from.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
All right. Here's a question from VS0063-Val. Now, YouTube has stopped using the easy to read names that you guys have put in, so we get these kind of wacky YouTube names. So it's hard to say what Val's. I would assume her name is Val, but who knows? It says, Christopher, you keep saying Lilly can be the hero, and I say Novo can be it too if they choose. When will they listen? I'm paying $379 for compounded Tirzepatide through my OBGYN weight loss doctor in person. I'd love to go with the brand name Zepbound, see how it feels, if it's different or not. It's not that much more than what I'm paying, and I'd gladly move over to Lilly if it were $3.99. What gives? Excellent question. There's a couple of pieces there. I'll start with, in my personal experience, I have taken Zepbound, Mounjaro, and compounded Tirzepatide. In fact, compounded Tirzepatide from 6 different pharmacies. I have personally not found any difference. Now, if you go look at the lawsuit that Lilly filed against some of the telehealth, I'm actually quoted as saying that. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any science. I'm just telling you my personal experience. I've lost weight on all of them. I've had the same side effects on all of them. It's been identical for me.
Are you saying from pharmacy to pharmacy or from Mounjaro to Zepbound to compounded?
All of the above.
No difference. Mm-hmm. One Mounjaro to Zepbound to
yep.
Hallandale Pharmacy to any of them.
Lilly, nobody's paying me to say that. Nobody has talked to me about that. That is just my personal experience. Right. So if you lawyers are out there listening,
and we think they are,
feel free. Quote away.
Please lower your prices.
Beyond that, so when will they be the hero? I don't know. I say that a lot, and I really do believe they should. And the reality of medicine and healthcare in the United States is our system is not built for that. Our system is built to encourage profit. And every quarter, they've got to go back to Wall Street and say, we made more and more money. So it's not really set up for anybody to be a hero. It's set up for people to make a lot of money. That being said, they can. Do I think prices will come down? I think there's a lot of balls in play right now that could lead to prices coming down in the next 6 months to a year. Certainly the whole administration, and they're talking about a lot of things. We'll see how that plays out. The new CEO at Novo Nordisk is going to have to do something with Wegovy pricing, which if that gets lowered, it will certainly put pressure on the Zepbound Tirzepatide side. So we'll see how that plays out. We just saw Lilly raise prices 170% on Mounjaro, which is Zepbound Tirzepatide in the UK. So there's so many things happening right now. You're going to see some prices come down. It's just going to be a matter of time, and all the cards have to be played.
All the cards have to be played.
Yeah, there's just a lot floating right now.
Well, and you and I were talking earlier, and Christopher pointed out the fact that, let's say they did lower the price of Zepbound to, I don't know, pick a number, $2.99, $1.99 a month. The sales volume would double, triple, quadruple. And how's that CVS, your local CVS, with its tiny dorm-sized refrigerator, gonna keep in stock enough Zepbound product for all of the orders that are going to come through? How are they even going to be able to keep it in stock? Like, it's really, we know that they had shortage where they couldn't even produce enough fast enough for the few people that were able to get it through insurance coverage or were willing to pay $1,000 or use the coupon, were able to use the coupon to cut the price somewhat in half. Now they've ramped up production, they're building other facilities. We've got one going in near us in Concord, North Carolina. Yep. We know they've ramped up the production, but even if they have the supply, how does it get through the pipelines? Like, where's CVS going to put all this medicine? Like, it's still going to cause like a backlog or a log.
Well, I think what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to grow their direct-to-consumer. They're going to have to, or an Amazon pharmacy or somebody.
Mm-hmm. Through a Lilly Direct type.
Through a Lilly Direct or one of the online telehealths or something. So the whole system has to expand, right? That whole cold chain, mm-hmm. If it has to go through bricks and mortar, I don't know that there's enough refrigerated trucks, refrigerators in stores to quadruple sales. Mm-hmm. That inventory won't have space to go to.
Won't have space to live.
But it's a good problem to have. And I can tell you, if because I worked in the grocery business for a long time. If a Coke or a Pepsi decided to launch a new product, they'd wheel in a Coke cooler and just say Coke on the side, and they'd just figure it out. So it can be done.
Right. I said, well, maybe Eli Lilly buys all the CVS stores in America.
It could be done, for sure.
A huge refrigerator, like
it could be done.
Some type of walk-in refrigerator, like I used to see when I worked at Pizza Hut. Those walk-in coolers. You probably have to have it more secure.
Well, they'd have to borrow space from the front of store, but I don't know if the front of store is making that much more money anyway, so it's fine. It can be done. There's just logistics. I think over the next year, you're going to see prices come down considerably. It's very possible we see a Zepbound price come down in the next few months. I don't know that it's going to be a dramatic drop, but I think it will be completely dependent on what happens with Novo Nordisk. I mean, I think it's just if they come out, if that new CEO comes out strong, swinging with a $199 Wegovy, and the cheapest Zepbound is $4.99, I think they're going to have to lower the price.
Novo Nordisk let their CEO go for a reason, and the new CEO is a Novo Nordisk
old school guy,
20-year veteran. So I think he knows what he is going to be charged to do, challenged to do, and
Wall Street's told him.
I think Wall Street has said, "Hey, Eli Lilly is kicking your ass, Novo Nordisk. So what you gonna do to get that stock price going again?" So, those wars are good for consumers who are trying to buy this product.
Anyway, so are they going to be a hero? I have no idea. I think it's a great call to action for you and I think it is a great emotional tug for people sitting out there running businesses, because the reality of what we're doing right now is it's all very price and value based. So nobody loves Lilly. Nobody loves any of these. And if something better came along and cheaper, most people would change. So can they build a brand that was actually the hero that I loved, that I wanted to stay with? Yeah, they can. There are brands out there that do it. Are there big pharma brands right now? No. But they could. They could be the hero. All right, next question, Michael Purcell, and we've answered this a couple of times, but we'll go ahead and ask it again. It says, are you both doctors?
No, we are not.
Are we doctors?
We are not.
What are we, Laraine?
I have a degree in marketing from Clemson University, and I've worked as a clothing buyer in the clothing business for over 20 years.
So I majored in philosophy in college. Not a doctor.
Where'd that get you?
Right here. Right here. And then I've been in the marketing business and marketing and branding for the last 20 some odd years. So, no, we're just people who started taking these drugs and had some equipment to do a YouTube channel and said, let's tell our story. And here we are today. So talk to your doctor, because we're not a doctor. Please don't do what I do. As our good friend Jamie Selzler says, I am not an expert at anybody else, but I am an expert at me. You need to become an expert at you. Let's see here. You can read that one.
This is from Milla Match. Both of you are beautiful. Well, thank you very much.
I work on beauty a lot.
Can I ask a question on dose? You're both in maintenance. Chris, you are maintaining on 15 milligrams a week for how long? Laraine, you are maintaining on 7 milligrams a week for how long? Thank you. I'll let you go first while I count up my weeks on my spreadsheet.
Well, I just have to make up a number because I can get within a little bit. But so, yes, I'm on 15 milligrams a week. Basically about 25 weeks of maintenance right now, but I had been on 15 milligrams another 20 weeks prior to that, so like 40, 45 weeks total on 15 milligrams. Is it still working? Yes, it still works. I don't have any problem with it. I'm not like ravenous or anything like that. Basically, to do maintenance, so there's no such thing as a true maintenance dose. Maintenance is a choice, right? It's you saying this is where I want to be. To do maintenance for me, it's about adjusting what I eat and saying I need more calories, more protein, adding a little bit of carbs back in, just kind of living life, because the goal is to have a sustainable life where we're enjoying ourselves, we have a good quality of life. It is not to deprive myself for the next 20, 30 years. That's no fun. I don't want to do that. What about you?
Survey says. I've been on a 7.5 milligram dose over the past 11 weeks. Prior to that, I was at a 7.5 for 11 weeks. Prior to that, I was on a 5 milligram dose for 8 weeks. Prior to that, I was on 7.5 or 8.8 because that was when the dosing got a little different there, right around going into March of 2025. Basically, I've been on 7.5 the longest, really looking at this. When I was toward the end of my weight loss portion of my journey, I was on a 12.5 milligram dose. And when I was on 12.5, it was from Red Rock Pharmacy. And at the time, I had to take it across 2 shots. That's just the way they mixed up the concentration back in April of 2024. And I really did not like taking 2 shots. I don't really even like taking 1 shot, but I will take 1 shot forever because I like the results. Okay, so I didn't like taking the 2 shots. So as soon as I got to 147 pounds, and I said, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to drop my dose. I dropped it to 10, and I did that for about 2 months, and then I got to 7.5, and in those 2 months, I lost down to 142 pounds, which was really my goal, to try to get to 50 pounds down. So even when I got to my goal and then dropped my dose, I still kept losing like pound a month, 2 pounds a month. Not much.
Why don't you read that, because it kind of builds on that.
Oh, Shelby says, I'm still trying to figure out maintenance. Do you still feel the same appetite suppression on the 7.5 milligram, Laraine? Yes and no. That's my current dose, as I have 5 more pounds I'd like to lose, but I'm wondering if I'll still feel appetite suppression and less food noise once I'm on maintenance. Do you still feel the same appetite suppression on the 7 milligram? Okay, I've been on this journey now for 97 weeks. And week 1 is very different than week 97. Okay, week 1, I couldn't eat probably more than 500 calories of food a day. And I couldn't even look at a glass of wine or I'd be sick. And now in week 97, and I've been on the 7.5 dose for 11 weeks, I'm very used to this dose. I can eat reasonable portions of food. I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I try to hit 30 grams of protein at each meal. I can have an occasional glass of wine if I want to. I really don't even so much want to anymore. So it's very different. And what was the other part of the question?
Still feel appetite suppression and less food noise.
I still do feel appetite suppression, especially 5 days after I take my shot. We take our shot on Fridays. On Fridays, Thursday, I might want a treat. I might be thinking about a treat kind of thing. But for the most part, my suppression on 7.5 is good. It's not the same as it was in the beginning, but it's still good enough to keep me maintaining my 50-pound loss for the past year. I wonder if I'll still feel appetite suppression and less food noise if I'm on maintenance. Your body does get used to the medicine over time, right? So we've talked a lot about how long is this going to keep working? If you're at a max dose, how long do you have for that dose? And we don't really know the answers to these questions. Like, we've seen people on Zepbound for now 2 years, going on 3 years. For us, we're not quite at the 2-year mark yet. And I feel like I will adjust to it over time. And, this is a tool. So if I need to adjust up at some point in the future, I can. If I feel like I'm losing more weight than I want to over the course of a week or 2 weeks, I can adjust down. So that's kind of why I wanted to drop my dose, just to kind of see where I really needed to be. Because I ramped up pretty quick. When I started, I did 2.5 for a month, and then it did 5 for a month, and then I did 7.5. And then we heard, somewhere that, if you're on a dose and it's working, stay on that dose. Well, that was news to us. So I stayed on 7.5 for a while. And I've really, lost the most on 7.5, but that's what's worked for me. So you need to take down your information, and then you can go back and really see what's worked for you.
Well, but so let's talk about maintenance for a minute, because we've gotten this question a couple of times. That I think what happens is a lot of people have this idea in their mind that maintenance, that I hit a number on the scale, whatever that number is on the scale, and the next day I'm on maintenance, I'm in maintenance. And the skies have parted and unicorns and rainbows have come down and everything's different. It's not. It's just another day, and you hit the goal that you've set for yourself, and that's fabulous and you should celebrate that. But the next day is not different. So then it becomes a question of, okay, I have all these tools, right? I have the medication, I have what I eat, the calories that I intake, nutrition, I have activity, and I can adjust these things appropriately. And the goal as you move into maintenance is to stay in a range. But it's not really any different. I mean, you move from I want to lose to I want to stay. It's a choice, though. You have chosen to be on a plateau, is what Dr. G said. That is your chosen plateau.
Mm-hmm. It kind of is.
And then you kind of celebrate that plateau and you keep moving and you say, okay, this week I'm doing great. I'll have a salad. My kid has their birthday party. I'll have a cake. And you learn how to adjust as you go. And you do it for a week and a month and a year and 10 years. And it's life.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of my life now, right? And that's why I like to weigh every day. And some people, that's not good for them. And, you have to find what works for you. But I weigh every day, and it really doesn't vary by a couple pounds up or down. So if I'm trending a little up, then I'm like, okay, I need to bring this back a little bit. I need to, look at what I'm eating. Am I getting enough protein? Am I building muscle? Like, what is happening in my body? But I'm still eating my protein, drinking my water, managing my constipation, because that's just the way my body works, right? I exercise 4 to 5 times a week, but I always exercised throughout my whole life, right? So I have to keep that up. I feel like that's part of my routine, and I won't say that I like doing it, but I like the benefits that I get from exercising. So. But
in maintenance, you all of a sudden realize why it's critical to build habits that are sustainable, right? That you can continue to do. So it's certainly easy to do all sorts of extreme dieting and cut calories and eat packaged expensive diet food and all kinds of stuff. The question is that how you want to live the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Because then you have to wake up in maintenance and go, okay, now what? Well,
now I'm rinsing and repeating every week, right?
Build habits, eat real food, do the things you want to do, because if not, you're going to bounce at some point.
Well, I mean, I can build all the habits that I want, but if I stop taking this medication,
well, that's one of the habits. That is the key habit.
I'm gonna gain this weight back. Like I can tell you with confidence, if not for this medication, I can still keep exercising 4 to 5 times a week. I can still eat 80 to 100 grams of protein a week. If I don't have this medication, I will gain this weight back.
Well, you know what I say.
So
just take a shot.
Right. I mean, it's, I think people get really hung up on what do I need to do and what do I need to eat and what. It's not. It doesn't have to be so complicated. Do the best you can. Eat whole foods. Take your shot. Really, that's all. That's all there is. I mean, you can fine tune things as you go along, and I've tried to fine tune some things. Like I see things that work for me better than other things, but everybody's journey is different. So you have to become an expert on you.
Yep. All right, next question. Julie's Palette.
There's more questions.
Have you heard any real discussion regarding split dosing, i.e. taking half a dose twice a week? I would love to have a more even level of the medication in my system, but is there a reason for allowing the level to decrease each month? Thank you both. I love hearing about your story and really appreciate the updates on these life-changing medications. So here's the thing about split dosing. We've talked to plenty of people who do it. So basically split dosing is saying I'm on a 10 milligram dose. I take 5 at the beginning of the week, 5 in the middle of the week, and keep in. The goal is to kind of even things out. Maybe you have side effects, whatever. There's no research on split dosing. So there's no science out there that says that's good, bad, or indifferent, but there's plenty of people who do it. We've heard good results from it. I don't do it because I would not want to take a second shot. I don't love shots that much, just not my thing.
I don't want to take 2 shots.
And the challenge for me of split dosing is if you split the dose, you never actually hit the highest amount of the dose. And I want to hit the highest amount of the dose.
You don't get to that level of medication.
Right. So you do you. Now, one of the things you say is allowing the level to decrease each month. Assuming you're staying on the same dose, it doesn't actually decrease at the end of the month. They overlap, and it's not going to decrease at all. Certainly at the 5-day mark and the 6-day mark, it'll go down some. But after you've been on the shot for essentially 28 days, there's enough in your body that it's carrying forward, and the decrease that you're getting week to week should be pretty minimal, honestly. If not, it's time to move up.
Well, and I think what we're trying to say is the medication builds in your body over time.
Mm-hmm.
The shot has a half-life of 5 days. So 5 days after you take the shot, you may notice some food noise might be coming back. You might feel a little bit hungrier. And I think by splitting your dose on like a Sunday, Wednesday split, you don't feel that 5-day drop because you're constantly taking a shot. So those 5-day half-lives aren't affecting you as much.
And you can do that. Again, there's no research about it at all. Now, there's a lot of people who do it, and we use an app called meAgain that can help you do that, and it'll actually show you, it'll give you alerts, and it'll show you your projected amount of medication in your body.
I was just going to see. Oh, and actually today is my shot day. We're recording this on a Friday. So it gives me a list of to-dos on shot day. High protein meal or drink at noon. Drink lots of water plus electrolytes. Load syringe and let come to room temperature.
I don't ever do that.
We don't do that. You can. Take shot and then have another high protein meal or drink after that. I mean, they're good guidelines. I think the reason why it's telling you the protein is I think it helps a lot with fatigue, might help with the nausea a little bit if you've got some good protein in your system and then you take your shot. So right now, before taking my shot, it says my estimated medication level is 4.3 milligrams. So when I add my shot into my app, I say log a shot, and 7.5, I put my stomach, it was actually the upper right, log shot. And now and it gave me a little fun little man. It says, amazing job, you're down 51 pounds. Are you feeling good about your progress? Yes, I am. All right, so now my medication level is going to go up, but it's not going to go up like immediately, like by tomorrow.
Up in a curve. Yeah.
By tomorrow, looks like night, it'll kind of peak and then it'll start on its way back down again. So,
but you can absolutely do it. So do what's right for you.
So tomorrow, my medication level will peak at 9.8 milligrams. Now I'm on a 7.5 milligram dose.
But you still had some in your system, so it didn't like magically go away.
And it builds, right? Yeah. So that's what this does. And it's really interesting to see how, on an app like that, how it builds in your body over time. And you can kind of see, well, maybe that's why I'm feeling a hunger or a certain way because of the medication's effect on my body.
So if you're curious, try it. We're not doctors, but I mean...
Yeah.
Anyway, and we are sponsored by meAgain, so just to be transparent. But it's a great app, so no qualms there. Laraine, why don't you read that one?
Oh, glasses time.
She loves to take her glasses off.
Gina says, hi Laraine and Christopher, on month 5 of my GLP-1 journey, 30 pounds down. Just wondering, can you do a segment on skincare, especially bodily skincare while losing weight? How to reduce skin issues that come with losing weight? I know most of us will have some sagging skin, and it is different for everyone, but most people care for their facial skin and kind of just do the minimal for the body. I've always been a full body moisturizer girl. I lost over 80 pounds long ago in my 30s and had very little sagging. Now at 64, I know I will have sagging loose skin, but would love for you all to interview a dermatologist and some others on this journey to seek a plan while and after losing. Thanks for all you do. All right, so I got a little bit of sagging. You know, I think everybody who loses weight after a certain age is gonna see a little bit of the sagging skin. I went to a dermatologist last year about some other issues, and I said, you know, I got this loose skin on my stomach. Is there anything like a cream or anything that you can give me to? No. No, sorry. I can give you a cream. I can give you Retin A to help the texture of your skin. I can give you a cream for, you know, a rash, but no. And, you know, she said the only thing that's really going to help the sagging skin is to have surgery and have it removed. Now, I've been trying, you know.
It doesn't stop her from trying everything.
It doesn't stop me from buying a new cream. I found a pretty reasonably priced Nivea firming cream that I actually think is pretty good. I like the way it smells. It feels cool going on. It keeps my skin moisturized. So I think it's on our Amazon store if you want to check that out at thedownsized.org. I mean, really, there's nothing. I do, you know, a full skincare routine on my face that I've always done. I use Rodan and Fields. I'll put a link in the description if anyone cares to look at that. And they do have some body treatments, and I've used a few here and there. And, you know, I think as long as you're exfoliating and you're moisturizing, that's really short of surgery. I think that's the best you can do.
There's no magic formula. Even the stuff that's $200, $300, $400 out there, it's not gonna. Yeah. And you've already realized, it sounds like, that how your body reacted at 30 is different than how your body reacts at 60.
Yeah.
We just lose elasticity in the skin.
Well, we interviewed Zach, who's 32. I don't think that video has gone live yet, but you guys can stay tuned for that. He's 32 and he's lost over 100 pounds, and he wants to eventually get skin removal surgery. And I said, you know, I wonder how much of that is going to retract. And he's waiting about 6 months before he even goes for a consultation. So, you know, definitely if you're younger, it's a whole different ball of wax, I guess. So.
All right, next question is from Win183672. It says, can one start at one of the higher doses on Lilly Direct as Zepbound vials, or do they make you start from 2.5? So the way Lilly Direct works is it's basically a pharmacy. So whatever your doctor writes them
is what you get.
Your doctor will send it through the magic of computers to Lilly Direct, and that will be, you'll pay for it, and that will be shipped to you. They don't, barring some strange thing, they don't really check what dose you're on. It's not their business to
Whatever
question a doctor, essentially.
Yeah.
Whatever your doctor prescribes is what they're going to fill. They don't really, I mean, I'm sure there are cases that are something weird's going on, but in general, they're not going to do it. They want to sell medicine, and it's their job to fill the prescriptions that are written.
And I did want to mention, I don't know if you heard this conversation I had last night with one of our viewers. We did our meetup last night in Charlotte for our Charlotte area people, and one of the gentlemen there is on the Lilly Direct vials. Hi, Thomas. And I was asking him, I said, if you don't reorder every 6 weeks, you know, have you ever gotten penalized? He said, no, I don't, because I keep it on my calendar and I make sure I reorder. I said, and I'm curious, if you do get penalized and your price goes up, does the price ever come back down? And he said he thought if you moved to the next dose, maybe that price would go back, would reset.
I don't know whether that's true or not.
We don't know. Your mileage may vary, but there's a lot of questions out there with the Zepbound vials. It is a better price point than the injection pen, so a lot of people are going that route.
All right, this is a good question for you too.
I don't get speaking of water, where is my, I'm a little thirsty. I usually have my water right here. Ginger says, I don't get the vast intake of water. How does it help? Well, your body's breaking down fat. How do you think it gets out of your body? Well, you can sweat it out. you can pee it out, or you can breathe it out. So your the whole respiration system, you're exhaling droplets of water. So if you don't have the water coming in, it's very hard for your body to remove the fat that needs to go out. So, I mean, what more reason do you need than that? And it's like pretty much other than take your shot, it's pretty much the easiest thing you can do to help this process, right? If you don't like the taste of water, put a sugar-free drink mix pack in there. There's a gazillion of them out there. Pick the one you like, right? I mean, I wouldn't do 100% of your water with packets in it.
I don't do any of it.
But, I mean, if that's what keeps you drinking water, it's better than not drinking water, or better than drinking Coke. Oh, I got a Coke by mistake the other day.
Girl, you just went squirrel.
I did. It was diabolical. All right, that's another topic.
Anyway, the other piece of water is because so many people suffer with constipation on these medications that it helps keep things moving. That water just...
You got to get the stuff out of your body, right? It's got to form the life cycle of
So now, talk to your doctor about what the appropriate amount of water is for you. I do think there are people out there recommending probably more water than any human actually needs to drink. So talk to your doctor about what that appropriate amount is.
Yeah, I mean, I have the big Stanley cups, the big 40-ounce Stanley cups. I'm pretty much drinking at least 2 of those a day. And then I'm also drinking water when I take my vitamins. I drink water with my meals. I drink... maybe during the middle of the day, I'll get a sparkling water out of the refrigerator or something like that. So I do drink a lot of water. It's good for your skin. It's good for all the reasons we just listed. So, but going back to the Coke. So I was in Aldi. Shout out to Aldi. I was in Aldi and Christopher told me something I forgot to do. So I kind of was in a panic and I had to leave. Like, I was getting ready to check out, but I was like, okay, I got to leave right now because I got to go do this thing Christopher told me I forgot about. So I go to leave and I'm like, I'm dying of thirstiness. Let me grab a drink out of the case. Well, they had what I thought was Coke Zero because, it's that same red label as the regular Coke, but I thought it was Coke Zero. They didn't have any Diet Coke, which, is the nectar of the gods, Diet Coke. But if I don't have Diet Coke, well, Coke Zero will do in a pinch, right? So I grabbed one. I hurriedly checked out. I was in such a hurry that I left my wallet at the Aldi. I'm driving home, and I don't realize this. I'm driving home. I'm drinking this drink, and I'm like, boy, they're really making this Coke Zero taste like really good, like really sweet. This is really sweet. I look at it. I'm stopped at a red light and I look at it. I'm like, this is full strength Coke. I have not drank a full strength Coke since probably 1972. I mean, I was like, oh no, I just drank like 100 calories of sugar. I was so upset. I'm like, all right, well, in the big scheme of things, who cares? So I threw the rest of it away. And then I got here and I was doing something on the computer and I needed to put in my credit card. I was buying something and I was like, where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? Dumped out my purse. I'm like, it's probably just in the bottom. Nope. Christopher, we got to go to Aldi right now. So
she's losing her mind. Like the end of the world is coming.
My whole wallet, like credit cards, driver's license.
It wouldn't have mattered. Any more you go get a new driver's license and you cancel your credit cards, it's fine.
So we go zooming back to, zooming. Christopher's like, Laraine, slow down. We're zooming back to Aldi. It's like a 10-minute drive from our house. I go running into the store. I'm like, did anybody find a red wallet? And the guy's like, oh yeah, it's back in the office. I'm like, are you kidding? And I knock on I'm like, did anyone turn in a red wallet? He goes, oh, here you go. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I opened it. I'm like, okay, my cards are in there. Then I'm like, oh, this is kind of rude that I'm looking at it after they just handed it to me. But I don't know. I just want to make sure my credit, I just looked in it. I was like, okay, great. Thank you so much. And I zipped out. And then when I got in the car, I went through it. Not a single thing was missing, y'all. I had cash in there. I had credit cards in there, driver's license in there. So it was a Coach wallet. Like, shout out to Aldi, because just thank you so much. I so appreciate that. So anyway,
All right. So
back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Off that tangent. So the final question from Deborah Kreischer is, I wonder if Lilly currently has enough manufacturing capacity to meet lower prices, knowing sales will increase significantly. It's a good question. So it depends on how much they lower the price. I think they have been spending millions and millions of dollars on factories. I don't think all of the factories are fully up and running yet. The U.S. factories, I'm pretty sure, are mostly pen factories. But as we all know, about 25% of their business that new starts is now in vials. I think if they want to, I think they can fulfill everything that's necessary. But I think what would happen is more of it would go to vials, and potentially they may have to access some of the overseas plants if it really got extreme. And the overseas plants are more quick pens, which I don't know why we don't have quick pens anymore. That are one pen that has 4 doses, and you kind of twist. It's like a lot of other drugs have. A lot of other drugs have that. I think the capacity's there. That being said, they're using price to moderate sales at this point, to keep it, down. So at some point, they'll push the go button. They'll make it happen. So yeah, I think they can make enough, is the answer.
I think they can make enough now too. I don't think they were able to make enough when Zepbound first launched, and that was a problem. I don't think they were able to make enough Mounjaro when Mounjaro came out. So then they launched Zepbound, and then there were shortages of both of those drugs.
Well, same factory, same drug, different label.
Yeah, so, yeah. Anywho, you want to talk about this thing over here?
Oh, sure. What is this, Laraine?
So, if you follow me on social media, you probably know that I've been making some TikToks.
If you don't follow us on TikTok, go to TikTok and follow us. It's, of course, the Downsized on TikTok.
And then I have a personal account, which is Laraine from the Downsized. Okay. So I was hanging out on TikTok the other day. We met all these really cool people at the obesity conference that were on TikTok. So I check on our friends and and do their videos and stuff. And I came across this one guy's TikTok that I didn't know. He was a GLP-1 user. And he was telling about how you can get a free sharps container from Novo Nordisk. So I said, let me check this out. Sure enough. Yeah, so what you do is you go to novonordisk.com, and there's a special section for diabetics. I had it pulled up here. That you can fill out your information. It's NovoCare. novocare.com, and you can get a free sharps container. You can hear we've put some of our sharps into this, and it comes in a box, and it says keep this box, because once your sharps container is full, you'll put it back in the box, and it has a postage paid envelope that you can send it back to them, United States Postal Service. Fantastic.
And it's free.
It's free.
Now
it says, it's intended for patients. It's intended for patients. So we're all patients, right? So I thought that was really good. Now, a lot of people ask us, how do I dispose of my sharps? There's regulations that vary from state to state on sharps disposal. We live in North Carolina. Before I got this, I just took a Tide Pods.
But there's no point in going into detail. It's different in every state.
But that's what I used. And then I write sharps on it, wrap it in packing tape, and put it in the trash. But some states you cannot put these in the trash. Like, you have to take them to special disposal places. So that's why I thought this mail back thing was so nice and handy, because you don't have to worry about what to do with it when the container fills up. So anyway.
So thank you, Novo Nordisk. As Laraine mentioned, last night we did our Charlotte Meetups. We had a whole group of people come and hang out with us for a couple hours and chat, and got to meet a lot of people. So it was super fun. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to be a part of one of our meetups, I believe the next one will be in Orlando in a few weeks. You can go to the downsized.org and RSVP for it. It's absolutely free. You just come and hang out with us. I think there's about 30 people registered in Orlando right now. So come talk to us. It'd be a lot of fun. So we've got Orlando, Chicago, Vegas left, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last night, we had some longtime viewers. Shout out to Mindy. Hey, Mindy, Linda Bookmiller, Scott, Antigua K. And we had one guy who came, and he's like, I've watched all your videos, but I've never made a comment. I don't even have a YouTube username. I'm watching as a guest. But I've watched all your videos, and thank you so much, because I don't have anybody to talk to about this, because I haven't told my family, I haven't told any of my friends, and I'm so glad. He was so glad, I think, just to have somebody to talk to about it. So if that's you, and
he had done well. He had lost a good bit of weight.
Yeah, he'd done really well. So I'm really happy that we're giving people somewhere to go with like what to do, and
people to talk to, make friends,
right? I mean, this weight loss journey can be so isolating, especially if you're on a drug and you're not, you're treating your disease of obesity with these medications, but you're maybe afraid to share it with your friends and family for fear of being judged, or, people that are overweight carry such a stigma, right? For so many years, we're afraid to tell people. So I'm not afraid to tell people. I tell people everywhere I go.
No, she is not.
We started a YouTube channel just for the purpose of telling everybody that GLP-1s are the bomb.
Well, so that's the meetup. So we'd love to meet you. Okay, so go to the website, thedownsized.org, and you can RSVP for that. We also announced our 2026 Downsized at Sea cruise that will sail June 4th through the 8th out of Miami, Florida on Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas ship. Mm-hmm. We would love to have you join us. I think rates start at $840 a person, double occupancy. So, go register for that. Lives out of Miami, goes to Nassau, Bahamas, and their private island, Coco Cay. Now, if you're a frequent cruiser and you go, I don't need to go back to Nassau, it's not about Nassau. Nassau's lovely, but it's not about Nassau. This is about having a GLP-1 community, mm-hmm. and you can meet us, you can meet a whole bunch of other people. We have dinner together, we do activities,
we'll probably go snorkeling on the Nassau day. That's what we did last time.
We'll probably film a live from the ship like we did last time. So it's a lot of fun. It really is. So also on the downsized.org, you'll see there's a cruise tab, and actually there's a big picture of a cruise ship with us on it. So make sure you hit that.
Yeah, I was messaging with our travel agent last night, and I think there's 32 people already registered.
We want 100 this time.
Already paid and signed up for the cruise. So, this is August. The cruise leaves
next
June 2026. So, if you're thinking about joining us, it'll be a blast. So I encourage you to do that.
Absolutely. And then, as Laraine said, we have a store on the downsized.org as well, an Amazon store. So we are Amazon affiliates, but Laraine has curated a whole collection of things that might be helpful in your journey.
Yeah, I think we also have to say we make a small commission off each purchase. So thank you. It supports our channel.
So that's it for our weekly weigh-in. If you've got questions that you'd like us to address in one of these, you can leave them in the comments below, or you can email them to either one of us. My email address is Christopher@thedownsized.org. Lorraine's is Laraine@thedownsized.org. So super easy. And
but you have to spell my name right.
Yeah, Laraine. It'll be on the screen so you can see it. And make sure you email us. And then we'll be back each week. We've got a lot of stuff coming up over the next few weeks. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
Alrighty.
Yep. Is that it?
I guess.
All right. My name is Christopher Durham.
I'm Laraine Durham.
And we are The Downsized. We'll see you next time.